sit here looking at the view of the Cascades in my office, think about how far I've come in life. I was in a meeting today. I work in local government, as many of you know, and it puts me in such a hard situation because, I romanticize alternative things and things that are taboo, and it's pretty much the whole purpose of my channel is romanticizing alternative things. You know how people say romanticize life or hashtag romanticize life? I am literally hashtag romanticize the alternative.
The alternative shit.
Things that are taboo, things that are off limits, things that just have a bad reputation, things that are really something that people immediately judge. And it typically usually stems from ignorance and a lack of knowledge on said thing. And what I love about it, and my thing that a lot of people really like about me throughout the years that gravitate to me, is the fact that I'm not your typical alternative woman. My background is Valley girl, Silicon Valley girl. I grew up in Cupertino, would walk to school and literally pass this tall, skinny man who was so sweet. I didn't know it was Steve Jobs, just doing his morning walk around the Apple campus city, which I was born and raised in. Very smart, well-off area and upbringing. Grew up in the church, straight-laced, obedient, virgin on my wedding night. I was fucking a short-term missionary for a little bit, in case you guys didn't know. Big surprise, right? I literally was a short-term missionary and thought that was my life calling, that God was calling me to be a missionary. I went to Thailand right after the tsunami to teach English, and it was an amazing experience. I dropped out of college for it. So I have that background of, you're not your typical pot-loving, alternative medicine supporting, cursing girl who's slept with 2 men in her entire life, never did drugs. I'm not ever going to say marijuana or kratom are drugs, okay? You're not going to have that terminology here. That is not drugs. Those are natural plant medicine. Thank you very much. Yes, other than that, I've never touched drugs in my life. I'm not your typical girl that usually talks about these things and supports these things. And I think that is a powerful statement in the community that I'm speaking to, or in general, because I talk about things that some people just don't want to talk about. And it's going to be romanticizing alternative stuff, shit. Romanticizing the alternative. I don't know. Leave a comment in the comments and let you know what it should be, but it has to be along the romanticizing trend. So hashtag romanticizing alternative medicine, but it's not always the medicine, it's alternative things. So maybe it's romanticizing the alternative. But yes, that's going to be my approach. And it's always been my approach. I talk about things that people don't talk about, like LSD is amazing for veterans. Has already been research done on LSD and how it helps with veterans, PTSD, how mushrooms help with veterans and mental health. Psilocybin and ketamine. People are, again, back to the ignorance. It's because they have no knowledge of it. They don't do their research. They take it for face value when they see it on CNN or Fox News. They don't do any of their own research. That's why the media is so powerful. They will literally tell you what they want you to know. And a lot of people are so lazy, they won't research further. They'll just take it for face value and stop there. So if kratom's bad, okay, kratom's bad. Really? I talk about things that a lot of people don't want to touch on, that people would be surprised seeing me talk about. Because a good girl who, comes from a good family, grew up in the church, educated, bachelor's degree, works for the local government, you don't expect a woman like me to talk about these kind of things and support these kind of things. And that's why I do it. Because I'm trying to grasp other fellow like-minded people, or other business people, or entrepreneurs, or other mothers, or wives, veteran wives, military wives, local government people like myself, corporate people, the woman in that sexy pencil skirt that walks down the street with a cup of coffee and, works for the mayor or the city manager or a politician. I want to get those people that are just like me, or in a similar demographic, and teach them not to be such a typical judgmental bitch and believe shit that they just see flippantly on the news. To do more study on what they're hearing. to deep dive into some of these things that, they look down upon. There's just really so much taboo and misrepresentation and judgment around a lot of these things that I find very important. And my story is a unique one. I do have all of those things in my life, the straight-laced good girl, grew up in church, a bachelor's degree, successful corporate woman. I have all that, but at the same time, I've kept an open mind, and I realized that it's not all that you think. And I guess that takes a lot of humility that a lot of people just don't have. And I do. But I didn't always. I'll save that story for another video. But either or, all that to say, hey, my name is Shauna Kay. Totally meant to rhyme that. And I romanticize alternative shit. Don't want to look like some hoe. I get enough nasty comments from bitches. It's always bitches. It's never guys. Like, cleavage, really? What are you trying to prove? Are you trying to get some, like, traffic? Keep up. Come on, women love women. I'm the most pro-woman woman you'll ever meet. Like, I love women. Love it. I was bisexual for a little bit. So I'll always have a love for women. And I never understand why women, you know what? It makes sense. Nature, women have to be competitive because in the animal kingdom, it's like they need to get laid to reproduce. It's like a natural desire. So they will fight over the alpha male so they could be the pussy that the alpha male choose. So they have to compete. They have to be, competitive and jealous bitches. So it's kind of in our DNA to hate on each other. Oh, what a detour tangent. I'm sorry, but it's good information to know. But women just need to support women, okay? We're not in a savage Neanderthal era anymore. We don't need to compete against no alpha male. They're overrated all these years later. So, us women need to support women.